Good morning, everyone. My name is Adoheny, and I'm here to talk about the debt ceiling in the United States. In the United States of America, we have a system called the debt ceiling. This system is used by our government in times of debt and is the maximum borrowing number that the government is allowed to go up to. The information behind me is from the New York Times.com, and the debt ceiling has been raised numerous times in the past, and there has been a very large fight between the Republicans and President Obama. Already in May, the limit of $14.29 trillion has been reached, and it was agreed by both parties on July 31st that the debt ceiling would be raised to $2.4 trillion. This debt ceiling raise will put cuts in all different categories, including Social Security, military, education, and transportation, and also Medicare. Even though both parties were against the decision to vote, even though both parties were against to raise the debt ceiling, the decision was passed 269 to 161 vote. This decision to vote, the decision to pass it, exceeded the higher amount that they thought it was going to be. The outcome of the new raise is that there will be more spending cuts, and the debt ceiling cannot be raised again until 2013. Some policy implications on the decision to pass the new debt ceiling are that all budget cuts the government is going to have to make to cope with the new plan. Many categories are going to have to deal with the budget cuts, including military, education, and transportation. The problem with the budget cuts are the military, for example, will not be able to buy the supplies or medical equipment they need to support the soldiers in Afghanistan today. This is a huge problem because we are in a war right now, and if we as Americans cannot support our troops in foreign lands with the equipment they need to fight the terrorists efficiently, then American soldiers will be hurt or even worse, killed. Also on the slide behind me is more information from the New York Times. Another area that will be affected by the budget cut is education. The educational department will receive some heavy hits like teachers being laid off or shortage of textbooks, school supplies, etc., etc. This is a problem because we will not be able to give the young Americans the education they need to move on in life, to get higher paying jobs and college educations. Our youth is the next generation of Americans, and without the proper education, they will not be able to figure out this money crisis situation we are in now when it comes to their time to make decisions. Transportation is another area that might receive some sort of cutbacks. An example that may come into play is the forms of transportation like buses, trains, and they will have to limit the amount of times they run on a specific route. An additional way is that if they had to raise the amount it takes to ride the bus or the train, people will not be able to get to work if they cannot afford to get there. This is a problem for the American people because it is already too expensive to take these forms of transportation, and if they raise it even more money, that's just going to be a bigger problem. President Obama's plan of reducing spending on Social Security creates a problem for anybody that wishes to retire. If they're not people that like people that are old, they can't retire, they just have to work for a very long time until they get old and crippled. My name is Adoheny, and that is my form of speech at the debt ceiling in the United States.